Brendan and Bryan replied to the Tim Kennedy apology. Number one, Chin's got a new angle. Chin's got a new fucking camera angle. Chin's got a new fucking camera angle. And it looks just as bad as you'd expect it to look. Now we can definitely see that it's a storage unit, right? We can definitely see it's a storage unit. You see the shutters are down there, or the wall here. You see the mezzanine here. You see the floor where they're going to have all the cars and shit here, allegedly, and whatnot. So it's not a really big space. And you also see where the main studio is, right? The main studio is right up here. So you get to see all of it. But that's Chin's new angle, Chin's new producer cam thing. And obviously the back is still as messy and as untidy as it is. The curtains, for some reason, it's meant to be, I guess it's meant to be for, I'm assuming it's for sound insulation, maybe? Soundproofing? These heavy curtains? Or is it just because of the backdrop? I don't think it is, because Brendan sits that way. So I think the camera, I think these curtains are for the sound. But regardless, that's Chin's new angle. Let's continue.
A little bit more serious now. Good friend of the show.
Let's get serious.
Good friend of the show, Tim Kennedy, posted this.
Yep.
And by the way, they spoke about this in the beginning, the middle of the episode. So I think they were purposely trying to farm or trying to clickbait, because the title of the episode is like Brendan and Bryan on Tim. I mean, they put Tim Kennedy's name in the title of the podcast, but they only spoke about this or started to speak about this like 50 minutes in. So clearly they're trying to get people to like, hey, watch the fucking show. And then here we have this here say. So this was a bit that they definitely had spoken about prior and how they were going to approach it on the fucking pod
recently. So I don't know if you guys want to read.
I don't like how he posted it twice, but
why of course he posted twice, because maybe people can't read the fucking post and it might be clearer in the fucking comment section. But of course Brendan is nitpicking the SEO of the fucking apology, as opposed to why he's even apologizing in the first place and what that says about him as a person. Let's fucking critique the fucking font, of course.
But it's easier to read on this.
Yeah. All right. This is Tim Kennedy referring to.
We definitely don't want to hear Brendan speak reading aloud, right? I don't think so. So it's funny that I think eventually Bryan reads it aloud, but he's trying to get there. But I think he looks at the words and then he fucking bails.
What would you say, Callen? Referring to the.
Tim's done like what I.
Hold on. Let's.
Already infuriating. He says, "What would you say, Bryan?" Almost handing the baton over to Bryan. Then as soon as Bryan starts speaking, he interrupts. Now I know what Chris D'Elia was saying. Remember Chris D'Elia, that really funny clip of Chris D'Elia going, like, every time you were speaking, Brendan would interrupt, then he'd be, and he was like, oh, why is it every time that I speak, you speak, but then when I don't speak, you don't say nothing? This is exactly what's going on there. Like, oh, what do you think, Bryan? Bryan starts speaking. Actually, here's what I think. Why did you even ask me then?
What would you say, Callen? Referring to the.
Tim's done like what I.
Hold on. Let's not get off track here.
Yeah.
So Tim is apologizing for elaborating things that.
Yeah. One of the things he said when
elaborating things, you don't even know. Like, he doesn't even think you have to use words in the English language. Elaborating things that, brother, if you don't know what you're talking about, just let the other guy speak, or just read the statement. Then you'll be able to understand what he's fucking apologizing for. It's not that difficult.
When he did a podcast. And he was playing with his dog, whatever, and they said, hey, you want a Bronze Star with a V? And he said...
By the way, Bryan's saying this to justify why Tim Kennedy lied. So I'm assuming he's saying this because he heard this from Tim Kennedy. This is probably Tim Kennedy's defense. He's going with the Steve Renazizi defense. Remember Steve Renazizi, the stand-up comedian who's in fucking... I think he's an East Coast comedian. He famously lied that he was in the Twin Towers during 9/11. And I think years later, he tried to explain it away and say, oh, the reason why he lied was because he was called on the spot by a friend who was on who had a show on Sirius XM or whatever, what that place was, that radio station. And I guess in the heat of the moment, because it just happened, the person called him because they knew he used to work in the fucking Twin Towers. And in that moment, he just panicked and said, yeah, I was there, you know? So he tried to basically excuse. It's kind of like Tim Kennedy's version of blaming the team. Instead of taking accountability, you're like, oh no, I just was caught off guard. It was a podcast. I was playing with my dog and I was distracted. I just said, yeah. It's like, brother, you still lied. You still continue. You didn't fucking clarify the lie. You didn't walk it back. You didn't fucking, you know what I mean? You didn't correct the record. You let people assume that you had this fucking award, right? When you clearly didn't have it, which is obviously a lie.
Got back and that was it or whatever. And then what people have to understand is after that, people would always say he won a Bronze Star with a V on Fox and stuff like that.
And is that a big deal?
And he would always correct the record.
People would always say, no, he let it be said and he said himself. The person, we saw the clip, the person asked him on the podcast, hey, did you win a purple star with a V? Like, he asked him a question, a yes or no question. And Tim Kennedy said, like, don't get me wrong, he didn't say it confidently. He kind of said it like someone that was lying, but that's not the host's fault. If you didn't get a fucking purple heart, purple star with a V, you just say no. But he said yes. And then Bryan's trying to say, oh, every time you introduce to the show, they would always say purple. Again, it's not the host of Fox or the host of ESPN or the host of whatever show he was on, his fault to correct the record. It's up to him to correct the record. He never corrected the record because he benefited from people thinking that he did get awarded that purple star with a V. That's obvious conclusion from it. He didn't want to correct the record because it made him sound way more badass. As somebody mentioned in the stream chat, when I was in disbelief as to why someone like a Tim Kennedy, who's as decorated, who's as impressive on paper, like with, in truth, without the lies, why would you need to sprinkle in the lies? And someone mentioned in the stream chat, yeah, because he's not happy. You might be happy with Tim Kennedy's record. You might have been happy if that was you. But Tim Kennedy isn't happy with it. He wants more than what he has. He wants to be known to be a bigger, well-regarded more person than what he actually is on paper. That's why he's basically lying. And they're trying to make, obfuscate. It's just like, brother, he lied. It's as simple as this.
You look up what a Bronze Star with a V?
Yeah, so I'll tell you what it is. It's the military.
Don't you find it funny, by the way, that Brendan, the person that allegedly comes from an army family, right? He's always bragging about his army. Whenever it's fucking Veterans Day, whatever that is over there in the States, he's always like, oh yeah, I come from a military family. Everybody in my family so It's like, bro, if you come from a military family, wouldn't you be familiar with the awards? Wouldn't you be familiar with the protocol, with the etiquette, with how they kind of, respect fucking rank and all this malarkey? Wouldn't it actually offend you that he actually lied about the purple star in the first place? Wouldn't that be a sore spot because of the people in your family who've been affected by war, who've lost people, who've gone through that? Like, wouldn't you be something that you'd be personally somewhat invested in a little bit? What's a fucking Bronze Star with a V? Jesus Christ.
Fourth highest honor. So
what's the highest? Purple?
No, Congressional Medal of Honor. But then there's the silver.
Doesn't even know what the highest medal is. Doesn't even know nothing about it. But allegedly comes from a military family. I smell bullshit.
For Cross, and forgive me, guys, but I think that you and I should do this about this. So Tim's a friend of mine.
No, hold on, but let's stay on track with what exactly he's in trouble for.
Okay,
so a Bronze Star.
But you keep interrupting. That's the thing. This guy is so infuriating. He starts off by saying, hey, I don't know what's going on. Bryan, basically explain. Give us an overview. Bryan starts giving an overview, a pretty decent one, right? Obviously, he's defending Tim, but he's kind of giving a good play-by-play of what happened. And Brendan just keeps interrupting. So every time he interrupts, he keeps getting fucking distracted, and they keep, going on other points. And by the way, this man just infuriated. Look at that outfit. You're at work, brother. You're at work. He's wearing pajamas, and like they look like house slippers, isn't it? Those aren't slippers you wear outside. Those are definitely house slippers. I know what a good house slipper looks like. They look comfy. They look worn. Those are house slippers. House slippers and pajamas, and you can see one of his fucking old nutsacks there, just peeking. You can see a little bit of a outline of his old ass, droopy, saggy nutsacks there, and again, another t-shirt that he got in a multi-pack, or a t-shirt that he got for free. A free t-shirt he got from a gym somewhere, some grey pajamas, and house slippers. Brother, man, like, please put on some. Is it really that hard to put on a pair of jeans? Put on some fucking chinos. Really that difficult? Like, honestly.
With a V device, award is service members acts of heroism, especially for actions involving direct participation in combat with the enemy of the United States.
Yes. So this
signifies that the individual performed acts of valor, demonstrating courage and bravery under fire. The V device is attached to the Bronze Star Medal.
This is the first time he's read this, by the way. Your friend got in trouble, big apology, it's gone viral. You have no awareness of it, no curiosity to really do a research to find out a little bit, maybe to gather your thoughts so you can have a coherent hot take or something. Nah, He's just literally reading the definition of a Bronze Star V right now. He has no idea the significance, the importance, the reasons behind it. Why? Because surely if that's your friend, if it's me and that's my friend, and you want to defend him because he's your friend, maybe it's beneficial to research what happened, why what occurred, so that you can offer a defense of your friend that's rooted in something, you know? But it's almost like, nah, that's not important. Whatever everyone's angry about is not important. It's just my friend. Okay, cool, I guess.
It's a ribbon to the skinship from a Bronze Star awarded.
So let me give you the.
All right.
Can I give it to you? Because I actually looked into this pretty.
Yeah, exactly, Jay for life. People who served active duty absolutely hate speaking on their time served. Exactly. But fucking Tim Kennedy and the rest of these fucking podcasts, you know, these podcast Marines, they fucking love it. They love speaking about what they did. They love detailing it in exhaustive detail.
Carefully. A Bronze Star is kind of like, so a lot of people get Bronze Stars. Even lawyers get Bronze Stars in the military, from what I understand. It's almost like I've heard Special Forces guys say it's almost like a participation medal. You know, you get it for good conduct. There's a lot of things.
V special.
So a V is when you have demonstrated valor in combat. It is a combat medal.
AKA violence.
That's what it says right there.
And one of the things you'll see is that they'll look at like a guy and they go, how many combat medals does he have? Okay. So a V device, sometimes you can be awarded a Silver Star. Look this up, I think. And it'll be demoted as a...
That blonde hair is hilarious. And I love how, I've seen the clip as well. I love how he's blaming this hair dye thing on his kids. Like, like, is it really that hard to just say, yeah, I don't know, I wanted to dye my hair blonde? It's shaved low anyway. So it probably won't be as hard to dye it if I had longer. It'll probably be harder if I had longer hair. Now my hair is short. I went to dye it and play around with it for a bit. Why not? But he still has to blame the team. Blame his kids. Oh, it's my kids. My kids said if he would have if I told them if he would have signed for a team, then I would dye his hair. It's like, what? Huh? Huh? Just admit you went to get your hair dyed and your kids saw you getting it dyed and they went to join you. Always fucking blaming the team. Like blaming your fucking kids is fucking crazy for dyeing your hair. Like, you're a grown ass man. Just admit you dyed your hair because you wanted it to be blonde. It's no big deal, bro.
As a Bronze Star with a V device. When you get an award for valor, you have to have two.
Yeah, exactly. Big up Josie. I'm going through some stuff trying to change it up. Yeah, exactly.
Corroborating witnesses, expert witnesses who were there and saw it.
Gotcha.
Big up your good
Was
vibes.
the addies and baddies for the kids?
Exactly. It's like when you get caught with the multivitamins, isn't it? It's like when you're at home and you get caught with multivitamins. And you're like, it's not mine, it's my friends. It's not mine, my friends. They asked me to look after it. My friend asked me to look after this bag of pills. It's not mine, I promise.
Okay. So the thing about these special forces community.
Big up Salaziz.
Tell 'em about combat medals, B. I used to play more combat all the time, Bubba. Just ask Jay.
Yeah, exactly. He used to play after. He's hilarious. Big up.
Actually said he won.
He about 8 years ago on a podcast he said that, and then we should say that he was introduced as somebody with a V device, I guess, and he did correct the record several times.
Okay.
So it was a time he said it. He's got to take responsibility for it, which he has.
That's what he's doing.
Because at the end of the day, if you said it, you said it.
I like how they're just making it seem like it's just that one thing that people are upset with. When if you watch all the content surrounding Tim Kennedy, it's about more than just that one thing. It's about several claims that he's done, several operations, did whatever. You know what I mean? The book, everything. There's so many things that people are upset about him with that he's lied about. It's not just about the stolen valor. There's loads of things. Loads. It's not just about that purple star. It's more than that. But of course, they're gonna try and make it. Maybe they're not aware. Maybe to cut them some slack. Maybe they're not aware of the other stuff. They're generally kind of ignorant of it because they barely know what's going on with this thing. So maybe they just don't know. But again, if you've got a pod and that's your friend and you want to defend him, you probably should have all the facts in it so you can defend him properly.
My thing with this is for
Let's
me.
go back to Tim's. Hold on, before you give your take.
I want to take full and unequivocal responsibility for a serious mistake. Over the years, I made public statements and gave interviews in which I unintentionally misstated aspects of my military service. Most notably, I implied directly or indirectly that I had been awarded the Bronze Star with Valor. That is not true, and there is no excuse for it. I never received that honor, and I deeply regret ever suggesting otherwise. That kind of recognition is sacred. It represents extraordinary courage under fire, acts that risk or cost lives. To those who truly earned it, and to their families and brothers in arms, I offer my sincere and direct apology. What I said disrespect.
Brian Callen's the type of person that will spit when he speaks, isn't it? It always sounds like he's like, I know he used to wear Invisalign, but he always sounds like he's got Invisalign in. Don't know if he actually has it in, but he always sounds like he's got some sort of Invisalign. It's like, brother, man, like put a fucking mouth guard on that or something, you know? Some sort of spit shield or something on that mic. God damn.
Your service, and I take full ownership of that. I was young when I stepped into the public eye, and while I wasn't prepared for the scrutiny or pressure that came with it, that doesn't absolve me. I should have known better. Integrity is not situational, and I failed to uphold the standards I claim to represent.
Yo, big up Sitsky.
Listen to the rapist lie for his friend. Listen to Rinks lie to cover for his friend. Listen to Litz bull shit for his friend. Callen is guilty.
Exactly. He's the guiltiest. He's the guiltiest, wrinkliest, pesty man of all fucking time. That's what he is, mate. The wrinkliest, guiltiest, pesty man of all fucking time. We all know it. We all fucking know it. We all fucking know it. Allegedly.
To the military and veteran community, especially those who served in combat or lost people they love, I am deeply sorry. I know that I've let many of you down. You had every right to expect more from me, and I didn't live up to that. This apology is not the end, it's the beginning. I am committed to rebuilding trust through honest reflection, visible accountability, and ongoing service to the community. I misrepresented myself too. I will no longer speak about my service in a way that elevates me beyond what I actually did. From now on, my words will be guided by truth, humility, and respect. I understand that words alone don't heal disappointment or restore trust. Only time and action will.
Oh.
Thank you for those who helped.
Brendan's yawning. He's tired of the statement. He doesn't care. He's not bothered. He's yawning. The guy's admitting his mistake, saying he fucking spoke about things that, or he says, the guy's basically saying that, yeah, I made up stories about my time in the army. I spoke about things that I did not do. Pretty serious allegations if you're in the army. And Brendan's finding it all so tiring. It doesn't matter. He's my friend. I'm going to defend him.
Held me accountable. I will do my best to honor that accountability from this point forward.
Now, let me say this before you go, B. So what's going to happen is the government, the military, are going to look into Tim's actual accomplishments. This is what's going to happen.
Accomplishments? You sure that's the right word for it? They're going to look into his accomplishments.
Especially, this is for you haters out there on Tim.
Haters? The people that... You know what's funny about this again, right? From my experience, or from what I know, the people that are attacking, the people that are exposing Tim Kennedy, the people that are exposing Tim Kennedy are all people that have served. It's not regular civilians. I think regular civilians just hated the fact that he'd always talk about, you know, killing women and innocent fucking children, right? I think people just feel he's kind of annoying, his personality. I remember when he used to come on Rogan, people just think he was kind of annoying and a little bit, you know, insufferable and up his own ass. But I'm pretty sure the people that exposed him and have called him out for his combat experience or army experience or whatever have been people that have served. Those are the ones. Fellow soldiers, fellow Marines, fellow Green Berets, whatever. Those are the people that called him out. Not haters, not trolls, not people like me. Not fucking basement dwelling, Cheeto finger covered fucking redax. It's been people that have walked the walk and talked the talk. Those are the ones that have called him out. But in Brendan's head, it's all haters. It's just people on the internet. It's like, not really. It's servicemen and women.
They're going to look into it and they'll reveal some of it. Hopefully they talk about it. I don't know how they're going to work. And what's going to happen is you're going to find out that he's not Superman, that he's Batman.
What? What does that mean? So in the process of trying to get to the bottom of Tim Kennedy's lies, the army are gonna find out. The army brass are gonna find out that Tim Kennedy's actually awesome. That's what they're gonna find out. They're gonna find out that he's actually awesome. And they're gonna do what Trump did. They're gonna do what Trump and the fucking his administration did with the fucking Epstein files, right? They're gonna be like, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. Tim Kennedy's the greatest guy in the world. Nothing to see here, nothing to see.
And he's still a badass. So you're looking to take down Superman, and you're gonna find out you're actually finding Batman, which is still pretty fucking good.
If it's pretty fucking good, why did he lie in the first place? If Batman is pretty fucking good, why did Batman pretend to be Superman? If he's so happy, if he's so content, huh? If he's so content and he's not insecure, why would Batman pretend to be Superman? And also, what the fuck is that analogy anyway? Batman, Superman. Fucking hell. I want to see this guy's brain.
That's what's going to happen here.
I think, though, what would be good for us and prudent for you and I as civilians is to not comment on get involved in this military stuff we talked about before.
I'll die on a hill for Tim Kennedy.
Yeah, me too. I love the man.
When it comes to the nooks and crannies of military,
yeah,
I have to just find out what a fucking the V is. I don't know that lingo. I'm sure as fuck never experienced any.
So if you're gonna die on the hill for Tim Kennedy, why would you die on the hill for someone when you don't understand what they're being accused of? So effectively, he's trying to say that his friends can do no wrong in his eyes. Big up Asad Aziz.
Oh, so he's not Superman? That's your takeaway? Tim Kennedy is the closest thing to Bruce Wayne. So he lied about his life, we get it. He lied to save Gotham. Both his parents went to the mothership and got straight murder lord.
Don't say that. 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 Don't fucking say that. Don't fucking say that. Is it Tom, right? His dad. Was it Tom? Bruce Wayne's mum and dad were leaving the mothership. It wasn't some theater. They were actually leaving the mothership before they got shot. That's what happened. Oh, I don't understand. I don't understand this. I'll die on the hill for him, but I don't understand why people are attacking. Like, so what? Your friends can do no wrong. Your friends are impervious to any sort of error, any sort of calling out. No, you can't even hold your friends accountable. Okay, that makes sense.
Right.
I don't have a background.
That's how I feel. It's like when I talk about
Tim, I'm telling you, you guys are trying to take down Superman. Yeah, and what's gonna unfold is you're like, holy shit, he's not Superman, he's fucking Batman.
How many times has he repeated that? Has it been 5 times already? Like, we get it, bro. We get it. We don't get it, but we get it. Like, can we move past this analogy?
Which is still pretty fucking impressive.
Yes. I would say this about Tim: is I know Tim as a civilian, and I've known Tim a long time, as you have, and I've spent a lot of time with Tim.
Hold on. I know Tim as a civilian, not a war veteran.
And a fighter.
I know Tim as a professional athlete.
Yes,
for a very long time.
Yes. So
I've seen him in both aspects,
and I think you would agree. What
does that have to do with anything? What does that have to do with anything? You know Tim through professional sports and through whatever lifestyle, whatever, right? What does it have to do with the case in question about him lying about stolen valor? Like, what does it have to do with anything?
This is me going hard in the paint for Tim because he's my friend, and I'm just that. This is who I am. I've never seen that guy do any. I'm telling you.
If you're gonna go hard in the paint for your friend, you know what you say. I've heard the allegations about Tim. I'm praying for him, but that's my friend. I'm going to stand by him. I've got nothing more to say. You just leave it at that. Or you don't even comment on it anyway because he's your friend. Really and truly, they shouldn't have commented on it anyway. You should just ignored it if that's your friend. Don't bring any more attention to it. Just hope that you can contribute to maybe, killing it. Taking the air away from the story by just not commenting on it. Because if you wait enough days, everyone's going to forget about it anyway by next week. But instead they're commenting on it. They're commenting on it while being uninformed. In Brendan's case, gleefully ignorant, and they're probably going to make it worse because those other channels are going to clip this and they're going to react to this and they're going to start calling them out, and it's going to make Tim Kennedy sound like he isn't really sincere about his apology because it sounded like he was using them as a mouthpiece. So they're making it worse, really. If anything, they're really making it worse with Tim Kennedy. If it isn't worse already.
When cameras aren't on him and nobody's looking, I have personally seen with my own eyes and with my own ears, heard him go so far out of his way for people, and you'll never hear about it, especially people who are at risk of doing self-harm or worse.
So Bryan Callen was in the company of Tim Kennedy when he was giving some sort of talk, or he was around some veterans that probably suffering from PTSD, and he walked some of them off a ledge. Okay, great, commendable, pat on the back, clap. What does this have to do with what he's been accused of? What does this have to do with what he's been called out for? Okay, he took some people off a ledge. Good. Well done. Congratulations. What does it have to do with what he's been accused of? It's like, what? Fucking hell, these guys, man.
Tim has...
He's Batman,
he doesn't want me to do this.
He's Batman.
He doesn't want me to do
you,
this. He doesn't want me to do this. He doesn't want me to do this.
You see how they're making it worse? He doesn't want me to do this. So they spoke to Tim Kennedy before they recorded this show, which is something they did more for Tim Kennedy than for Crystalia. And I have a feeling they've both only started being friends with Tim Kennedy recently. They're all fucking nut hugging him and backing him up, and that's my friend, I'm gonna down the hill, my friend. I've got a feeling they've only started to become closer to Tim Kennedy in the last couple of years. I've also got a feeling Tim Kennedy's only become their friend, closer to them, because of all the fucking lies he's told and the fact that he's been ostracized from his own community of people, like former, army people. They've probably iced him out. He's probably only got a smaller group of friends. That's why he's now hanging around these guys more often, because his bigger group of friends that he used to have, or his larger his larger circle of friends, has now dwindled because of all the negative press and word sentiment around him. So they're making it worse because it sounds like they spoke to Tim and Tim told them, say this, that, and the other as a mouthpiece. They should just shut the fuck up.
But I have to just at least speak on this. I'm not going to say the other stuff. I'm just going to speak on this. Whatever he said, he's going to be held accountable to. There are a lot of these guys, these Delta guys, this guy Brent Tucker, he was an A Squadron guy. I'm not fucking getting involved in that. These motherfuckers risk their lives.
Buddy.
They went through, that's their own ecosystem. I am
them.
stepping out of that. I'm not gonna defend him on that. I'm not gonna do any of that. All I'm gonna try to say is this. From what the things that I have seen with his generosity and what he's done for people who were really at risk of taking their own life, I've not only lent my very lame hand at that, whether it was... And
of course, make it about yourself. Classic. Of course, insert yourself in there. So I have anecdotal experience of this guy, and I can speak for his character when he's in my presence. But if I can speak for his character in my presence, that means I can speak for his character across the board. That's what I'm trying to say. Because I've never heard Tim Dillon tell a lie, he doesn't tell lies. Also, what's up with Bryan Callen's thumb? Only a pest would have a thumb like that, innit? Only a pest would have a thumb that overextend like that. Only a fucking pest would have a thumb that does that. Jesus Christ, what's going on there? Ugh.
emceeing, a thing on veteran suicide. Well, I'll do whatever I can. I'm not in a position to talk about this. It's a sacred subject, but I have seen that man go out of
It's a sacred subject, but let me speak about it.
his way, as including get in his truck and drive places for a very long time to take care of somebody.
Again, what does this have to do with Tim Kennedy lying?
Powerful
And nobody knows about it.
Big up Asad Aziz.
When Timmy War Crimes gets sentenced to firing squad, you think Bappa will be able to talk?
Exactly.
Not a sad thing.
Exactly. The fire squad came a knocking. The fire squad came a knocking. Bang, bang, bang.
Think what he just did with the floods.
Listen. At the
I can
end of
give
the
you
day,
way bigger
we're all
examples,
complicated as human beings, and I've known Tim.
We're all complicated as human beings, aka sometimes we lie about our service record. It's perfectly fine because he walked some people off a ledge. Big up Art Guy. I have a thumb like that. I'm not a rapist. Apologies, Art Guy. Apologies, Art Guy. Apologies, Art Guy. I apologize to yourself and to all your ancestors and every family member that is associated with you. I did not mean to disparage your name or disparage your anatomy. You know, apologies for that.
As a civilian, and
you're barking up the wrong tree with Tim, though. If you think you're taking down a bad man, and they're going to do the investigation. I hope they reveal what they find. Again, you're going to find out.
We don't know. We don't know. Sure. I would be careful about it.
They're going for Superman, and you're going to find out he's Batman, and still impressive.
I just think
Tim's a 3 a.m. friend.
If he's so impressive, again, why would he pretend to be someone that he's not? And again, he's a 3 a.m. friend. What does it have to do with him lying? What does it have to do with him lying?
And about 3 of them in my life. Tim's a 3 a.m. friend.
That's true.
I could call with anything. I don't lend my kids to anybody.
Yep.
I don't lend my kids. Strange phrase, isn't it? Lend my kids. Lend them. Also, what does this have to do with anything? Oh, Tim Kennedy's really nice to my kids. Okay. What's that have to do with him lying?
Oh, we're just going to take him. Nope, not happening. Because if something happens to those kids, you're fucked.
Yes.
I will kill you.
Yes.
Where did that come from? We're talking about Tim Kennedy lying about his service record and about his awards. And now we got Brendan threatening to kill a hypothetical person who he wouldn't lend his kids to. Right? That's why he's threatening to kill somebody who he wouldn't lend his kids to. You know, again, like, what? Who's this person? Why are you trying to kill somebody? Why is this threat here? Also, maybe killing isn't the right thing to say in context, right? As we're talking about Tim Kennedy, maybe mentioning killing ain't probably the smartest thing to do. I don't know.
Something happens to those kids, I don't give a fuck, mistake or not, your life and mine are going to change forever.
Yeah.
I don't trust anybody.
Yeah.
Tim goes, hey, I want to take Tiger, we can get ice cream, go this. Not even like, go.
Right.
Go.
And
he's one of 2 people ever
not only has that happened,
kids.
I don't know, it's more about you, Brendan. The fact that Brendan doesn't have anybody he trusts in his life, apart from Tim Kennedy, a person that he's probably only become really close with in the last 5 years or so, says more about him probably, isn't it? How come you don't have any other friends that you would trust around your kids? And also, why is that barometer of how good a person is? Like, sometimes you have friends that just aren't good around kids. Does that mean you don't trust them? Or they just don't really care about your kids? I don't trust them. Like, what? What is this fucking gauge of who's a good person or not? Trust them with your kids, huh? Like, you've got 7 cars. Just get a fucking babysitter. Why would your friends need to be around your kids all the time? Unless you're there. It's like, huh? What is this?
Done that with my kids with Tim, and I've done it several times. And so for me, again, my experience with Tim as a civilian is nothing but he's one of my favorite people.
Oh, big up Young Old Vibes. Great point, Young Old Vibes. It's okay when men lie, but women aren't allowed to tell the truth about Bryan.
Powerful bunch.
Big up Asad Aziz.
I only lend my kids to war criminals.
Exactly.
On the planet. He's got to be held accountable. He will be for this. I'm not going to step into that. You know, we all make mistakes, and we all and this if this is his mistake to correct. This is his thing to deal with. I'll let the veteran community
and
the special
and they'll do it. You're not going to get away with anything with those boys. Like they're going to do it. They're going to do it, and then you move on. I'm telling.
And then you move on. No. It doesn't move on like that, bro. He lied about his service record. It's not as easy as that. It's not as easy as that. And then you move on. Okay, he lied. So what? He lied about his fucking time in the army. So what? He fucking took credit for things that he didn't do and for things that maybe his dead comrade did, which is fucking... That's the part of the story that's really dark, right? Tim Kennedy taking credit for something that someone he actually served with did, who ended up unfortunately passing away in the line of duty. That is the fucking disgusting part of it. But for Brendan, it doesn't matter because he's his friend and he takes his kids for ice cream, so it's okay. It's perfectly okay.
Telling you, this isn't the guy to aim for and create videos and throw hate at.
Too late.
Listen, the internet's wrong on so much shit all the time. They go after good people.
I sense somebody's projecting. Look at this. He's thinking about himself. He's coming at the idea of himself being a good person. He's literally ejaculating at the thought of Tim Kennedy looking after his kids, lending his kids to Tim Kennedy. Right? But I love that projection there. The internet comes after good people all the time. So Brendan thinks he's a good person, really. I'm a good person. I'm just misunderstood. I'm a great person. Despite all the shitty things I've said and done on camera, the shitty things I've said and done that people have talked about, the shitty things I've said and done that people have seen and heard, I'm a great person. I am a great person. Have you seen my GoFundMe recent transactions? Have you seen the amount of people have sent fucking $50 to? Oh, hilarious, bro. Hilarious.
I'm telling you on this one, folks, there couldn't be a worse guy to try to tear down.
Imagine Brendan thinking that we value his opinion on people's character. Like Brendan is a true arbiter of somebody being a good guy or not. Bro, you do a podcast with Bryan Callen. You do a podcast with Chris D'Elia and Eric Griffin. All three of those guys have accusations. As Kendrick Lamar said, they have what? They have weird things while they're around, whatever that fucking line is. You do podcasts and you do content with three people who have some crazy, dicey, suspect allegations around them. I don't think you are the best judge of character. I'm not going to lie. I'll just have to say that. I don't think you are.
He's going to be held responsible for this. I'm fucking telling you. You wish you had a friend like Tim Kennedy.
So
I don't think we did. I don't think we do. I don't think. Oh my God. During an ad read. I hope they lose this ad read. I hope they lose this advertiser. During an ad read, we get a bare foot. And by the way, look at how fucking soft and supple Bryan Callen's feet look. He's got feet of like a 12-year-old boy. That's how you know this guy's wealthy, you know? Never a hard day's amount of work. He's not had to spend any extended time on his feet, you know? No nooks and crannies. That's the feet of somebody that's been pampered, that's been walking on pillows his entire life. But we get a full foot during an ad read. They got no respect for their audience, no respect for their advertisers, no respect for anybody. Brilliant, isn't it? Fucking brilliant. So, what to say about this? The fucking analogy or metaphor of saying that Tim Kennedy may not be Superman but he's Batman was one of the most insane things I've ever heard in my life, but I'm not surprised. I think most of us knew that they were going to come out firing, defending Tim Kennedy. I personally think they're doing this over the top defending of him and refusing to admit that he's wrong, refusing to understand the facts, because they're trying to project or they're trying to make up for what they would have done in previous times. So I think they both regret not maybe fighting against cancel culture and being a little bit more, you know, being a little more insistent and digging their heels in and not fucking buckling to the pressure, which was done because they just buckled to the advertisers really. So it wasn't cancel culture. The advertisers threatened not to fucking sponsor the pod and they just, you know, they care about money more than anything else. So Bryan took a break, an extended break, and then Brendan brought some two black guys in who he hated. But I think that's what they're doing. They're trying to overcompensate. They're trying to make up for what they should have done with Bryan, what they should have done with Chris, by going out of the limb to defend Tim Kennedy. The problem is the Tim Kennedy evidence is pretty irrefutable. A bunch of people that have served have called him out. That podcast Anti-Hero have basically read his book page by page, line by line, and dissected every single lie, called up people to confirm things. So it's like, it's not even up for debate, you know? The guy is clearly a pathological liar and is most likely going to be excommunicated, you'd imagine, from the army. And I think I'm going to take their impression, their conclusion. I'm going to accept their conclusion, or I'm going to believe their conclusion way more than I'm going to believe these guys who are biased and clearly trying to demonstrate some sense of loyalty to a friend that they think they should have demonstrated to each other when they both needed it. It's just too little too late now, and it's the wrong hill to die on, but you know, they're going to do what they're going to do. So we'll see how it's going to play out. I'm just curious to see, and I hope it does happen, that one of these army-based whatever podcasts will see this and react to it. I really want to see one of those guys react to it and call these guys out for their nonsense and really rip into them. Then I want to hear them react. I can't wait for that. I want to see one of those podcasters react to these guys defending Tim Kennedy the way they did. I cannot wait. That's going to be brilliant. That's going to be brilliant content. That's going to be brilliant content.